And good luck. I know it's in the back of everybody's mind, and I'm going to answer it. Do you think there is a hidden agenda to push through private schools and/or vouchers? I asked before I asked it. I said, you think it's okay to ask this one? You can blame Mr. Webb.
My question back to you is, who said it's hidden?
Because of the cuts. In other words, they offered an incentive to retire, and I knew young teachers would have to be leaving if I wasn't leaving, so I left. That's a sad way to look at it, because there's more kids and fewer teachers. It's really sad.
So we lost a lot of good teachers. We lost a lot of experience in teaching with these cuts. I've got one other person wanting, yes?
So did I.
Dollars are you going to have to ante up, and where is that going to come from? It's going to come from, it's going to mean more cuts, programs, etc., so that you can just have the rudimentary things that every parent expects.
This sentence that I'm about to give you without fail cannot be argued. This is a sentence you must memorize. It is that a prosperous society is truly dependent upon an educated public. Should you ever be argued, education is not important, it should be thrown away, you recite that sentence.
I think it's time that we make education more of a priority in this state. It's not for a lack of revenue, it's for a lack of priority. And with that, I'm pleased to see you here taking a stand for education and making sure that we fix our broken funding formula system. We renew the tax code so that we have appropriate revenues for our students, and we find the money where it is needed. Thank you.
She raised the hurdle. That's her call.
And I'm sure the members of the legislature that will be back here in special session will have appropriate things to say to her for that.
Why is funding so different from district to district?
Governor Ratliff?
You're asking the wrong people.
This is what Governor Ratliff spent hours to explain to you.
They don't want to know.
You go, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robin Hood.
The problem that was created was when target revenue was put in place. When the legislature changed the way we funded our public school system by telling local school districts that they had to compress their property tax rates down to that dollar, and they had the autonomy to move it up to $1.04. But for the first time ever in the state of Texas, school districts were told that they couldn't be trusted to make their own decisions about their tax rate. So from the very beginning, we were looking at almost a $6 billion shortfall every biennium to public schools, and there was no plan in place for how we were going to address it. You may have read this comment in the paper several years ago when asked about the use of the rainy day fund for public education. Governor Perry said something akin to, "I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I left $1 in that rainy day fund, knowing that I had not granted the best education I could give to our school children." That was several years ago. That wasn't the attitude of the session, unfortunately.
These cuts were really not about education, were they? This was not a, cutting education. There's no proof that that severe budget cuts make schools better. This was not a school improvement plan. That's what disappointed me so much was the last session, I was so active in the last session, and there was all this talk on both sides about how do we make schools better. That wasn't the conversation this time. It was simply how to cut funding. How to cut funding. It really wasn't about the kids. It was about other agendas. So that's what we're trying to move it back towards being about kids once again.
We need leaders who will make tough but smart decisions.
But the legislature has gotten calloused to those approaches, to those advocacies.
Well, was there something, Connor, that just was the tipping point for you that you just kind of went, oh, come on, and that's what you said, that's it, I'm starting my own party?
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that necessarily one thing.
As a matter of fact, we had a very prominent leader in the House a couple of 3 years ago in Education Matters who referred to those people as those whiny-ass school people.
And so, after that, I decided to do something about it, and, it's worked out pretty well so far.
Maybe some of you heard that. What does that mean? People at home ask me, what is it going to take? What is it going to take for us to get the funding necessary in public schools? I tell them, as soon as the mamas of Texas get fed up, it's going to change.
Good evening. I want to start by asking a question. How many of you are public school educators? Would you raise your hand? You've had a long day today, haven't you? I want to say something to you that nobody ever says anymore. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you do for children of Texas.